There we go. Hello and welcome to podcast episode 10, I do believe. I am joined by Mel. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Mel, as you very rightfully pointed out. I'm here in my penthouse in Brooklyn, just chilling with my homies. And I came to talk to you today.
Well, thank you for accepting my invite on Zoom. Hopefully everything works. So this podcast is about what, really? It's about online hate and how people deal with it. So have you had much hate in your career?
You say hate, I say encouragement. I mean, it depends how you look at it, really. Every single person that makes any kind of content, be it stand-up comedy or whatever, the second you put yourself out there, the public think they get a piece of you. And you know what? I say take a bite. It might not always be what you want to taste. It could be a bit bitter sometimes, but ultimately they're allowed to spit it back out and say they don't like it. I don't let it get to me if that's where this is going. It's not, I can't say I'm someone that's ever overly affected by it. My mum says that I'm delusional. I say I'm just an optimist. I mean, you know, they're strangers. I'm not emotionally invested in these people. If it were people that I knew doing it, I'd be good, but it's not. It's strangers, and they only get to see some very short snippets of who you are. So if they want to form a judgment and make it a bad one, who am I to get in the way of that? If that's what gets them through the day, then, you know, I support you.
Absolutely. How do you deal with it when you do get some, though?
I eat my feelings, Dave. I did not get this beautiful figure by not eating everything inside. I don't, mate. I don't. I channel it. I rechannel it. I'm training a dog at the minute, and it's weird to use this as an analogy, but I'm gonna. Okay. When you've got a reactive dog, my dog reacts to things I don't want it to, namely my smallest child, which obviously is a concern. You've got to nip it in the bud. But it's also a great threat for bedtime. You know, if you don't go to bed now, I will let the dog out of its crate. Never had an issue since, I'll be honest. But if you don't want the dog to react to a small child, then you use distraction techniques. You refocus all that energy onto something else that you want it to react to, like a ball or a treat. Similarly, when I have a lot of feelings that maybe I don't want, I'm not going to dwell on them. You know, I'm 40 years old. I haven't got time for that. So I rechannel them, and I rechannel that into a song or a stupid sketch or a rant. I love a rant. It's very cathartic. People talk about, you know, how we need more positivity in the world. I disagree, Dave. You know, I disagree. What we need is more incandescent rage, because what you get in the throes of a rage machine is honesty. Like, they don't want to say the truth, but it comes out. Their filter's gone. It's coming out. You know where you stand with people when they're screaming at you. Let me tell you. When have you ever had someone scream at you and go, I really like you? It doesn't. It doesn't happen. You know, it's not controlled. It's always like, you really got on my nerves yesterday, and then you know that you got on their nerves and you won't do it again. You know?
Absolutely. I seen your vegan teacher TikTok earlier.
Go on. Am I going to get pulled on this? Can I just say that I am not part of the positive posse? Right? They won't have me. To be fair, I tried to apply last year. They don't want to know, right? And that's fine. I never punch down, Dave. Never, ever punch down. I never have, and I never will. And I stand by that. And I tell my followers a lot as well, do not punch down. But that woman is, you know, I don't know what to say about her without upsetting someone. You know, I mean, it's not the vegan thing. I have no issue with what she eats. And I would like to think that no one's hating me because I got a bit overindulgent with the chocolate at times. You know what I mean? But the woman is fanatical, and I think anything fanatical is concerning, particularly when your views are crushing and diminishing other people. Do you know what I mean? So telling people to change their religion and their belief, and the whole, you know, spirituality for some people is very defining. It's very definitive as to who they are. So when someone says, actually, everything that you believe in and about that shapes and molds you as a human being, I think it's utter rubbish, because it says you can eat cows. You know, it's madness. You don't do that. So I do, but I punch up. She's got more followers than me. She's better looking than me, and she's thinner. So I punch up there, Dave. I do not punch down. And she's got proper hardcore followers as well. They don't think twice about coming to get me. They're like, and I sit there, tears rolling with laughter, because they gun for me. And I'll check out their profile, and you can guarantee when someone's being an absolute pleb on the TikTok, their profile will read, "Be kind." And they don't know how to be, but they like to say it because it looks good on their profile. It drives me mad. It really does.
That goes back to your other TikTok video you done with the online psychics.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw the one where you reacted to some of the comments you got.
Oh, my God. That was me championing my followers. They were so funny in that video. I would never be so arrogant as to say there is definitely no other side. I would never do that, because I often think it's what we don't know that we should be most open to, you know, not what we do know. We already know that, it's in the bag, but what we don't know, we should be open to. But as I said in that video, I do find it hard to believe that my mum, who can't even nip round my house for a brew when I'm 10 minutes away, would make a conscious effort to come all the way from heaven to a conservatory in Leeds where Sheila is rolling out the tarot cards to tell her what she thinks of me. I don't think she'd do that unless I got a message saying, "Your mum says you've put on weight and your curtains are shit." Then I'd believe it. But that's it. That's the only time I believe it. That's the only time. I do find it hard. So,
have you found TikTok easy to use?
Yeah, very, very. And actually, I mean, TikTok's not a job for me. I know it is for some people. It's not for me. But I am a stand-up. That is genuinely what I do for a living. And what TikTok has definitely taught me is how to edit myself. And I don't mean worry about what I say, because TikTok's definitely not the place to start worrying about that. But how to get there quicker, you know. One of the things I've always been guilty of on stage, and you can ask anyone that's ever shared a stage with me, is rambling. Oh, I love to get there the long way. I'll tell a 2-minute story and make it last an hour. My Edinburgh show only had 3 gags in it, looking back. Do you know what I mean? It was a whole hour. And you only get 59 seconds on TikTok, and you have to be punchy and have energy. And, you know, so it's been really good for me to learn how to edit. And I actually owe TikTok a lot for that. So, yeah, I do find it easy to use once you get your head around the tools.
Have you found that you've had more negative feedback on TikTok than any other platform?
No, not at all. I get much more negative feedback on Facebook. There are people on TikTok. There are people everywhere. And this is the thing. It is very unrealistic of us to start telling young people that they don't have to tolerate or deal with hate. It's unrealistic to say that. In an ideal world, that would be the way it went. But we don't live in an ideal world. And wherever they go, in whatever walk of life they choose, they are going to be met with people that don't like them. And the best thing we can teach our kids is how to deal with it, rather than to pretend it's not there. Do you know what I mean? I find that on Facebook, older people my age, are a lot nastier, because we lived in a time when bullying was kind of all right, you know. I was never a bully. I was bullied, not relentlessly, because, you know, I had a good gob on me, so I was able to deflect a lot. But I think, like most people, you know, my generation, we were all bullied at some point, whether it was for our school bag or our new haircut or our dad's shit car, whatever. You know, we all went through it. And I think that we learned to deal with it, but sometimes our generation can forget that the kids today have been brought up completely differently. In this world now, it's unacceptable. They've no coping mechanism for it. So we're a lot nicer, you know, and we should be. But my generation, when faced with someone from that generation, ain't so nice, you know, and they'll gun for you just like they did in year 11, you know. But again, they're strangers. They are strangers. And as much as I absolutely love it when I connect with someone on a social media platform, they get my sense of humor, you know, they totally understand where I'm going with it. And I do live streams, and I'll cry with laughter on these live streams when the right people are on. Oh, I mean, I lose it, because some of them are smarter than me, and I don't know why they're not making content, because they're so funny and they give me all these great ideas, and we'll have such a giggle. So as much as I love that, I'm also very aware that, you know, I don't know them, not personally, you know. So if tomorrow they suddenly went, actually, you know what, I've decided that I don't like you, you're not a very nice person, and they left my life, it wouldn't change. Nothing about my day-to-day life would change. I mean, if they
I
all went at
suppose that
once, that'd be
goes
pretty
back to
good.
Facebook as
Say
well.
again.
I suppose that goes back to Facebook as well, because Facebook's more friends and personal.
Well, no, because I've got I have a personal account on Facebook, but I've also got a page. So on the page, no, I don't really know many people on the page. They're all strangers. So I mean, they found me through viral videos. Like maybe a small handful of people I actually know. I tend to find stand-up comedians aren't that very supportive of other stand-up comedians. There's a little bit of rivalry. So we're not sat around laughing at our mate's great gag. We're thinking, why didn't I write that? Damn it! You know, or, you know, he's not a very nice person. I should have more success than him. And you know, we're to say we make a living making people laugh. We're very bitter, Dave. We're very bitter, and most comedians will admit that if they're honest. I don't really know people really well on my Facebook page. So when they are brutal, I suppose if I wasn't as tough as I am, some of the comments on Facebook might have got to me. But I can genuinely sit here and say, without getting maudlin, as my gran would say, don't get maudlin. They've not come for that. I've been through so much in my personal life that a comment from a stranger, it doesn't even touch the size. I just don't feel it. And I think that sometimes that is the beauty of life experience, perspective. You know, you've been through something that genuinely is awful, you know, by anyone's standards is awful.
Absolutely.
So a comment from someone you don't know, is it really something to lose sleep about? You know, it's just not, is it? You know, most of the time as well, when people, I think, you know, I was born with this face. It was a tragedy, Dave. It was awful. I look back now and look at my mother and think, how could you? You know? And I had this face and I had this body, and I've stared at this face for 40 years. I know my eyes are wonky. I know that. I know I've got chubby cheeks like gerbils. I know my teeth are slightly protruding at the front. I know that sometimes when I say the right word, I look a bit like Cliff Richard. I know that. All right. So anyone telling me, it's not hurtful, because I often think as well, if someone speaks the truth, how can you be offended? You know,
Yeah.
it's like, your name's Mel. Oh my God, I can't believe you said that. You know, if it's the truth, how can you be offended? You just got to kind of go, all right, okay, yeah, it is. You've got me, bang to rights, you know. So when someone sort of insults me and my personal appearance, and maybe I am fortunate and I forget how fortunate I am that comments like that don't get to me. So I'm not dismissing people that struggle with it. It's just I don't. And I think,
I'm the
you
same.
know, pardon?
I'm the same, because I was bullied so much through childhood, and I still get bullied now. When I see my friend reacting to a comment, I'm sat there going, why are you doing that? That's just
Yeah, I
making
know.
it worse.
It is. And I never understand. I know some creators do it when they get a comment that's hateful and they'll react to it. And that's exactly what they want. It is exactly what they want. And I never do it. No matter how bad it would get, I would never, because all you're doing is taking a fire and pouring petrol on it. That's all you're doing. And that's not how you put something out. It staggers me how many people I see saying, I can't handle the online trolls, but here I am reacting to them, making them worse, feeding them more. Block and run. Ghost the bastards. That's all if somebody ever crosses the line with me, and it is very rare. It's very rare. And in my lives, I rarely block people. I will let them make themselves look stupid, and I'll sit and enjoy the show. I will. I'll gladly sit and enjoy it. But
That's what I've noticed about you as well, is some of the comments, like I watch a load of my friends go live and that, and they will sit there and just block and block. But when I went on your live, I was like, why is that person commenting again?
Yeah, I just nothing. It's just, I just don't make a fuss, because you just don't say anything. Frozen, Dave, that means I've frozen, which means right now I probably look awful on your screen.
No,
Please don't
you
show this
haven't
on
frozen.
YouTube. Free space is not a good look, me, Dave. Have I not frozen? Oh, thank God for that. I'm really mean, and I take pictures of my friends when they freeze on FaceTime and send them to them on Facebook. They don't like it. I thought you were about to get revenge on me then, Dave. Thought you'd been speaking to some of them. No, I don't block them. I generally just don't engage. And so what's the point in commenting again? If you engage, they want to carry on. They want to keep going. I think that in all my time doing lives, I've muted 2 people, ever. And that I've done a lot of lives. So I muted 2 people. And I didn't mute them because of what they were saying to me. I muted them because I didn't want children reading what they were saying. And that's the difference, you know. So it was, you know, if something's overly gratuitous or sexual in nature, and I know I've got like kids my son's age, 15, 16, watching, I'm not all right with that, because I'm a mum first, above and beyond everything else, you know, which is why my content's never sexual. It's just not, you know. I find it very uncomfortable to know that young people are watching, and to know that I would be doing that. It's no.
But
As far as they're concerned, I've never done it. Say again.
My favourite video was your serial killer one you done.
They took it down. Unbelievable. As if, and this is my point, right? We can get stupid with the filtering, right? Let me just give it context for people that didn't see it. I was laid in bed, and a lot of people have felt this. I know they have, but I was laid in bed and I was watching a documentary on serial killers, and this psychologist, she was going, well, I've been doing this job now 30 years, and I'll say they've all got similar traits. I'm like, I'm listening. Maybe I know someone that's like a serial killer. And by the time she'd finished, I wasn't thinking I know someone. I was thinking, I am someone that's like a serial killer. Because she was going like, you know, and they're very detached, and they don't react. And I'm thinking, oh my God, that's me. And I'm like, you know, and by the time I'd finished, I was laid in bed thinking, I can't sleep now. Not now I know I'm a serial killer. I can't sleep, you know. And I was just thinking, what if it is literally my need to keep a house clean that stops me doing this? What if it's the fact I'm such a lazy cow, I can't be asked to cover my tracks? And I wouldn't do well in jail. Let's be honest. I just wouldn't. I'd get my head kicked in straight away. I'm too gobby. So I was like, oh my God, you know, what if? And so I made a joke about realizing I was a serial killer, and TikTok filtered it. But you know what it is? It's the people that don't announce to TikTok that they're serial killers that are probably serial killers. Do you see my point though? And people always say like, oh, you gotta watch the quiet ones. You flipping do. You know, it's so on the news. You'll never hear like an interviewer going, you lived next door to Ted Bundy, didn't you? Yes, he was always having raves. Didn't I say, Sheila? He's a wrong on him. Always having raves, smoking weed in the back garden. You'll get none of that. You'll get, well, he was an angel. So quiet. Didn't know he lived there. You know, it's always the quiet ones. So I'm here making a load of noise, getting banned.
Documentaries.
Say again.
Because I used to watch a lot of those like caught red-handed things, and they would always, or serial, what was it? Children who turned out to be serial killers. I used to binge watch them. And what made me laugh more is in every episode, the mum would go, oh, he was always addicted to Call of Duty. Oh, he was always addicted to bullying his friends. I'm like, well, I'm sorry, but all your kids, all his friends' kids are doing the exact same. Why haven't you done anything? Oh, there were no signs then.
No.
Have you watched one of these documentaries?
I know. My mum and dad fostered a kid when I was growing up, and I don't know if you remember, because you're a whipper, aren't you? You're quite young. But when I was growing up, there was a series of films called Chucky, Child's Play, Chucky, and they were horrors. They were terrible horrors, the worst special effects in the world. And it was a doll that went around knifing people. That was it, because he was trying to get the soul of an adult man out of his. I mean, even when I say it out loud, it's ridiculous, but we loved them. We loved these films. And my brother, who was, I think, like coming up to 16, he had a poster of the doll on his wall, and it just said, here's Chucky, because that's what he said in the film. So my mum and dad wanted to foster, and it was an emergency placement. And my mum worked at A&E, and they'd called and said, we've got a girl, can you take her? We're going to come round tomorrow. And they were looking around the house, inspecting every room. My mum was totally over the top with cleanliness. She used to iron and starch my underwear. I didn't walk to school, Dave. I crunched. That's how bad it was, right? Anyway, they went into my brother's room, and the social worker went, well, that's going to have to come down. And my mum went, what? She went, that Child's Play poster, it's triggering. And my mum went, Has she been around many walking dolls, has she, that stab people? I mean, come on, you've got, it was, in the end, you know, my mum and dad said, look, it's up to John. If you, and my brother did, fine, I'll take it down. But we can't, like, that's not a reason a child would turn out bad because a poster was in his bedroom of child. That's not a reason. You know, when my brother did go on to be a serial killer, it was for a different reason. It was because I stole his Lego. That's what he told the court. So he's not a serial killer. Disclaimer. No, he's not. But yeah, so we can get a little bit too silly and over filter and patronising as well. We got to remember that kids in schools today, they've got access to a hell of a lot more than I ever had. We never had phones at lunchtime. We could never just nip on, you know, when they're, and in some ways, I'm going to get real for a minute, Dave. Do you feel? I love saying that because it makes me sound so pathetic. Do you feel, Dave? Do you feel? I do say it has never been harder to be a kid. It is never. We say the opposite. I hear a lot of adults say it's never been easy to be a kid, and I will argue that all day long. No, it's never been harder. When we were kids, there was a break. We got a break. So if we went to school and it was difficult, we got to come home, shut our doors, and be shielded. They don't get that because bullies, nasty people, the world will find its way in through their electronic devices. They'll find a way to be exposed to it and it will damage them. So I think as parents, we need to, they're overstimulated, kids today, majorly overstimulated, and they're in sensory overload all the time. They're breaking down left, right and centre. They can't cope with the basics anymore. And that's largely our fault. The boomers are to blame for that because we invented the shit. So, you know, at iPhones.
What's happened?
But yeah, that's what I think about it. I don't know. I can see you now.
Oh, that was weird.
What happened then?
I don't know. You disappeared.
Can you see me again?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see me. I'm still in Brooklyn, so you know I can see me. I have no idea what's going on there. I just love the fact that it's decided my house would not look good on YouTube, so it's put me in Brooklyn. It's great.
Another thing I think you would enjoy is a song by someone called Lucy. It's called Freddos Aunt Tempe.
Right.
And it's about like the different childhoods. I think you would enjoy it. Actually.
Oh, I'll have a listen. I'll have a listen.
What's your favourite song that you've written?
That I've written? Favourite ever? Parody or original?
Either.
Parody. Either. Favourite song that I've ever written that's an original is probably the Christmas song, which I've not done justice yet. I've not put it out fully. But in terms of composition, so the actual building of the track, by far my favourite. It was so much fun to make. There's like 7 or 8 different musicians on that track and they were all amazing. And then I kill it with my voice. But they sound the dogs. In terms of parody, I haven't released it on TikTok yet, but I have released it on Facebook. And it's got to be Violent Night, which is Silent Night, but sung about fights on Black Friday. And yeah, I love it. And I'm releasing it as a track this year. It is ridiculously funny. And it did massively well on Facebook. I was not expecting it, to be honest. So I'll put it out on TikTok this year. But yeah, in terms of that, but the song that I'm probably most known for isn't either of those. The song that I'm probably most known for is Isolation Day on TikTok. And on Facebook, the Prince Andrew song, which TikTok wouldn't let me put up for obvious reasons. So, see, this is why I can't be verified on TikTok, because I can't be trusted. And my followers don't seem to get that, because they don't know how many content violations I get every week where I've tried to show them something that I shouldn't have done. Do you know what I mean? Usually with the royal family, or to do with me hating somebody public that I shouldn't hate. I don't hate anyone.
Going off topic a bit, I don't know whether you've seen it. There was a TikTok documentary about the Queen at the beginning of lockdown. I sent it to my American friend thinking he'd know roughly about the Queen, thinking he'd know it's a parody of an actual documentary. And it was of
Oh
the
no.
Queen's wedding on the checkered
Right.
floor. And they had a
Yeah.
voiceover guy going, the Queen, nobody can move until the Queen is satisfied by the layout of the chess pieces. Anyone moves and she will cut their head off. He then messaged me halfway through this fake documentary going, is it real? Are they
Oh,
actually like on a chessboard? I was in hysterics.
they don't get us, do they? And TikTok has definitely highlighted just how much they do not get us. Some girl put a video up today which made me laugh, and she went, she was talking about how we've got houses in schools, you know, forms houses. You know, I was in House Loretto when I was at school. My son's in a house now. You guys have houses? Oh my God, you get like Hogwarts. I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, dickhead, Hogwarts was based on us, not the other way around. We've had houses for bloody yonks. You know, it's like, I'm 40 and I had a house. Oh my God, they don't get it. And the second I hear questions for British people, I want to cut my ears off, Dave. I won't lie to you, rather than subject myself to the agony that I know is about to come. Is it true you guys like drink tea and eat crumpets? Gee, only when we're slagging you off. I mean, I love the Americans, don't get me wrong, but not the ones on TikTok.
I have a few good people. I've interviewed one who's amazing, but some of my friends over there are just deadpan when they watch stuff.
They don't have our. We are as far. Well, I tell you what. I mean, I've gigged a lot in different places, in different countries, for different people. And I will stand by religiously that the British have the best sense of humour in the world. And I say British, not English, Irish, genuine, you know, British people that have lived here for a long time. They even acquire our humour. You know, I mean, I know what you call, what do they call them? Briticans, you know, American British people that have lived here for, I've made that up, haven't I? There's no such thing as Briticans, but there should be. But Briticans, they acquire our humour after a certain time of being exposed to it. And they are my favourite people, although close second to us is Scandinavia. They have a very good sense of humour. We can't understand what they're saying, mind. But when it's translated, it is very funny. Very, very funny. So, you know, we have that to be proud of. We suck at everything else, but not at making the world laugh. Even if they're just laughing at us and our tea and crumpets. Do you know what I mean? My God.
How many songs or parodies have you released?
Proper release, like as in you can get them on iTunes. 18 that you can actually get. But I've put out to the general public probably about 200. But I only release the viral ones on Spotify. So if a song does pretty well, like maybe 300,000-400,000 hits, I won't bother because you won't sell. Generally speaking, for a track to do decent, 10% of its hits will convert to an actual purchase. So 600,000, it's not that many, you know, in terms of people that are actually going to go out and buy it. So I don't bother. But when it's viral, yeah, like Dominic Cummings' 260 Miles, I put that out. That sold really well. And then I did Now That's What I Call Lockdown, and that did really well. I only put viral tracks on that, and that was good. And then I'll put Violent Night Out, and then I'm doing a Christmas album, but I'm calling it Now That's What I Call Pissmas, because, you know, I'm so classy and clever. But I thought that might appeal to the younger generation because it made me giggle. So, yeah, but I think that will be all right because a lot of them I released last year on Facebook and they did go viral. So hopefully TikTok's a new audience. They should go viral again. Fingers crossed. I may get egg on my face, but we'll see.
I've just had a notification to say we've got 9 minutes and 41 seconds remaining.
Okay. Well, what would you like to discuss in 9
So
minutes?
is there anything else you would like to add?
I'm not really good at picking topics. I'm more of, I'm more fluid, Dave. You know, I kind of just go with the flow. And this is very uncomfortable for me right now, Dave. You've turned the tables. I wasn't prepared for this. Who does your hair? Where did you get your hoodie?
Hoodie's from HMV, and I haven't done my hair in ages.
Still looks good. You're rocking the hair. Yeah. I like your mirror. It's nice. Yeah.
Thank you.
Is that a duck egg on the walls that I see? I like duck egg. It's a good colour. See where this would go if I was running things, Dave. This is why I don't have a podcast, because I would literally have guests on and just go banging eyeshadow. That's, I don't know what to ask people. You're the inventive one.
I will put all your links in the description.
Thank you, dear.
If there's anything you want me to add in the description, feel free to email me or message me.
No, nothing at all. Just remember, no comments about my weight, because I do have a slow metabolism, so no hate. And it is a disease. So I will be furious if anybody dares marginalise me, because I can't marginalise myself to fit in my trousers, so why should they get to do it? Other than that, no, I'm absolutely fine. It was a bit of fun, and thank you for having me on. It was good.
That's all right. Thank you for accepting my invite.
You're very welcome. Good luck with it, mate. Good luck with it. It's a good thing you're doing. Very good luck.
Thank you.
All right, buddy.
Talk to you later.
See you later on, mate. Bye-bye. Bye.